Pleasant morning to everyone. I am Alejandria GUIB, and I am your MC and your speaker during this program. So the theme of this program is about socio-economic issues. During the program, you will hear a lot of topics and different topics and speeches from our selected speakers. So the world is facing an unprecedented test, and this is the moment of truth. Societies are in turmoil, and economies are in nosedive. We must respond decisively, innovatively, and together to suppress and put an end and address all the socio-economic issues that is happening right now in our economy. Everything we do during and after the pandemic must be with strong focus on building more equal, inclusive, and sustainable economies and societies that are more resilient in the face of pandemic, climate change, and many other global challenges we face. What the world needs now is solidarity. With solidarity, we can actually defeat these challenges and build a better world. So, my dear friends, ladies and gentlemen, as we move on with our program, you will hear different topics on socio-economic issues to be delivered by selected speakers. First off, we're gonna hear a motivational speech from James Ivan Mingarine.
A pleasant morning to each of us. At this moment, I will talk about failures. How many of us have succeeded in what we tried in the first attempt? Not many, right? We all know that each of us has failures, so I will discuss what failures bring us. Anyways, the title of this topic is Failures are the Stepping Stone of Success. Each of us has already failed. Who among here is proud to say that he or she didn't fail even once? No one, right? You cannot deny the fact that you already failed even just once. This proves that success cannot be attained in one try. But there are exceptions that success can easily achieve. But when it comes to competitive tasks or tough tasks, it needs a lot of patience and takes a lot of time to bring success on our side. Who among here know the story of a great scientist named Thomas Edison? His success story is really motivating, right? Edison's experiment to refine a light bulb failed 10,000 times, but his attitude toward failures was simply great. He confidently said, "I didn't fail 10,000 times. I just found out 10,000 times how not to make a light bulb." Very inspiring words, everyone. In our life, what matters is our attitude. If we give up easily, we cannot taste the flavors of success. It takes years for a tree to give us tasty fruit. Similarly in us, it takes time to make success, sometimes even years. The path of success can be rough and hard, but if we keep going and going without any lack of confidence, the day to success is not really far away. So people, if we want to win in life, we should not stop till we get what we are looking for. The only thing that helps us to make an achievement is our self-confidence. If we believe we can make wonder, we will. So we should believe on ourselves before expecting others to believe on us or support us. Just always remember that when life gives us thousands reasons to quit, just give yourself one reason to try again. Stand up and never give up till you become a great achiever. That's all. Thank you. Again, pleasant morning to everyone.
Wow, what a wonderful motivational speech you got there, James Ivan. So, as we move forward, gonna hear another speech from RESTY CACHUELA. Let's hear him out.
Genesis chapter 1 verse 28 says, "And God blessed them, and God said unto them, Be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that move upon the earth." The world population is growing every day. Today we are 7 billion in this world and 109 million here in our country. The rapidly growth of population is exceeding to the capacity of the world and creating more issues. Procreation is a blessing to a family, a couple, and to others. But can it be a blessing for everyone, or is it good for everyone? Let's further discuss this topic to be able to answer those questions. So, overpopulation is an undesirable condition where number of existing human population exceeds the actual carrying capacity of the earth or territory. This socio-economic issues is one of the biggest problems here in the Philippines, and there are many reasons why Philippines is considered an overpopulated country. One is the number of population of the Philippines. We have 109 million for 80,000 and 590 population, ranked 13 in most populated country in the world, and ranked 837 in 2021 in most populated country in Asia. The Philippines have high unemployment rate and low migration rate because of the scarcity of job opportunities. And with high unemployment rate, the Philippines poverty rate is high because unemployed people don't have source of income. These reasons tells that with high number of population of the country, our resources are getting smaller. So what causes overpopulation? One cause is falling mortality rate with high fertility rate. Population is rapidly increasing but slowly decreasing. That means that the demand of basic needs are getting higher, that results to a scarcity of supply, and that is a characteristic of overpopulation. Another cause is underutilized contraception. Filipinos, especially the religions, are against of contraception because they believe that it opposes their belief and that contraception is taking away a child's right to life. Another cause is lack of education about sex. Filipinos believe that it's unethical to teach young adults about proper and safe sex. If these causes will not change for the following years, the effects will just get worse by the time passed by. So let's talk about the effects. Because of large number of population, there will be scarcity on resources. The supply and demand of resources will change, and ecological degradation will happen when the demand of resources are high. And because of scarcity of resources, the increased conflicts will occur, like robbery, people fight for lands, and many more. And because the large population make a country or territory crowded, the risk of disease and pandemic will increase, like the COVID-19 pandemic. Houses are close to each other, that makes the contamination or chance to infect each other is high. So that means that the procreation is like other things. It's okay to do, but in moderation. Because excessive amount of population is a large problem for everyone. Government of the Philippines are making actions to control the overpopulation, but obvious solutions are being illegal because of our principles. Abortion should be legal, so cases of teen or unwanted pregnancy will be prevented from increasing. Adoption should be promoted so it can slow down the increase of fertility rate. And sex education should be implemented so people can be aware of things related to sex, especially the effects of it.
Alright, for the next stop, we're gonna hear from RUZZ TRINIDAD for his human rights speech.
Human rights. Human rights are the basic rights and freedom that belongs to every person in the world, from birth until death. They apply regardless of where you are from, what you believe, or how you choose to live your life. They can never be taken away, although they can sometimes be restricted. For example, if a person breaks a law or in the interest of a nation's security. These basic rights are based on shared values like dignity, fairness, equality, respect, and independence. These values are defined and protected by law. In 1948, Philippines is signatory to the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, or UDHR. draft by UN. According to the Charter, the jurisdiction of United Nations is to provide cooperation among the nations. The Philippines adhered to the UDHR through bills of rights and considered to create laws and policies. For example, Marcos regime, human rights group, the numbers of victims of extrajudicial killing under martial law at 15,000 over 800 abduction. Karapatan, a local human rights group, record shows 789 involuntary disappeared. And also, in Duterte's campaign on war on drugs, when Rodrigo Duterte took office as President of the Philippines on June 19, 2016, he explicitly told the people to kill, of who makes the Filipinos miserable, including criminal suspects, as part of his vow to solve drugs, criminality, and corruption in 3 to 6 months. According to PIDEA, 4,948 suspected drugs users and dealers died during police operation. 22,983 such deaths since the war on drugs began are classified as homicide under investigation. This wrong action of police affects people's mind that suffers a lot of side effects, not only through physical but also emotionally abused by this kind of incidents. Have you asked yourself, is justice only for rich people? When will we achieve the equality for everyone? When will we have the freedom for everyone? Is our lives worthy? Or only people with power can live freely?
For the second to the last speaker we got here is MYLA and Chatham here. He will give some speech about OFW issues.
Hi, I will be discussing about OFW issues. Aside from exorbitant fees, sometimes they even get swindled out of their rightful contracts, leaving them suffering abroad. On a personal level, OFWs cope with anxiety and homesickness by making friends. In some cases, OFW friends have issues and need money urgently, to which most are only too happy to oblige. I have 3 side effects that OFWs experience. Number 1, homesickness. One of these disadvantages is homesickness. It must be hard for a person to decide to work abroad and leave his or her loved ones behind. Filipinos are generally family-oriented and sentimental people. Second, long-distance relationship. Long-distance relationships are the one of the challenges overseas Filipino workers face as they work abroad. Many distractions may prove decisive in the fate of long-distance relationships. Last, not enough savings. Going abroad is sometimes like a gamble, where an OFW has to be taught expensive agencies fees, deal with multiple levels of bureaucracy, and sometimes unpredictable health conditions. Government gives all OFWs. They are told that there is an embassy that will protect them in case of danger to life, liberty into human dignity, as well as to high risk to health, safety, and honor. They are assured that there is a labor attached who will run to their location to rescue them in case of extreme risk. This study attempts to analyze the impact of employment of overseas Filipino workers, or OFWs, on the academic performance of their children. One specific goal for this study is to awaken, encourage, and challenge the government through the Overseas Workers Welfare Administration, or OWA, to formulate policies and programs as early as now and strengthen them if there are existing policies and programs in accordance to needs of the respondent, with the assistance and close collaboration of the International Organization for Migration, or IOM.
So for the last speaker, and that is me, I will be the one who will present and give some speech about prostitution. So here it goes. So good day. Let us talk about prostitution in the Philippines. So there's a long history of sex work and prostitution in the Philippines that goes far as back 1500s. A prosperous slave trade was established in 1500s between Philippines, Spain, and the Caribbean. So, exotic sex object. It is believed that some Filipino women were sold as exotic sex objects for work in European brothels. So, a brothel, it was a house wherein men can visit prostitutes. So, slavery was outlawed in the Philippines in 1591. However, this did not stop the exploitation by the Spanish colonists in the last century. There was a resurgence of sex tourism due to both World War II and the Vietnam War. So, the US liberated the country from Japanese rule in 1945. The sex tourism continued with the American soldiers, and several women had children who were ostracized by the community. In 1947, Filipino President Rojas signed a military agreement resulting in 22 U.S. military bases being stationed in the Philippines. The largest base, Clark Air Force Base, located at near Angeles City, resulted in the city becoming the Mecca of the sex trade, often referred to as Sin City. So sex tourism in the Philippines was rife in the 1960s and into the 1970s, with American soldiers stationed there due to Vietnam War. So here are some of the causes of the prostitution. So some of them are the poverty, underemployed, lack of employment opportunities, physical abuse or sexual abuse, peer influence from families and relatives, deception by the recruiters due to poverty. So these are the effects of prostitution. So there are this sexual violence and physical assault, post-traumatic disorder, prostituted women are in higher risk of being murdered, health problems such as viral illness, STDs, vaginal infections, and depression. So for me, there are a lot of government solution to this, but I'm gonna show you some. I'm gonna provide some government solution to this prostitution. So in 2005, the government set up a bureau to bring together several government agencies, local charities, and the legal authorities to tackle the issue, which is the prostitution. Whilst there is still a long way to go, awareness campaigns and work by organizations have made some progress in this issue. One organization ends child prostitution, child pornography, and the trafficking of children for sexual purposes, which is the ECPAT, that guarantees young girls that get shelter, advice, and training to help to help protect them from traffickers. Several girls have been saved from retrained from other jobs in the community, such as chef work. So for me, my own solution from this prostitution is creating more job opportunities that are more focused and relatable on everyone's work experiences rather than their educational background to alleviate poverty and of course to reduce prostitution. So the next step that I have in my own solution from this is having or organizing medical treatment and more recreational activities that can help prostitute to coordinate into our community wherein they are really belong. So that is my speech for the prostitution, which is the scope from the socioeconomics that we are into right now. So thank you. Have a good day. So those are the selected topics that we have here in our program themed socioeconomic issues. So I hope that you enjoy listening, and I hope that we gave you some influential topics for you to use for your future references about socioeconomic issues. Thank you. That's all for today. Have a good day.